Hello there and welcome back to my channel. I am the Rogue Witcher. Thank you for joining me. If you are new here, I do content for all things Marvel, Star Wars, DC, sci-fi, fantasy related. In today's video, I will be doing a movie review of the latest Marvel movie, The Thunderbolts. I will be talking about key points in the movie, plot lines, and post-credit scenes. So this is your spoiler warning. If you don't want to hear any more, click off and come back and watch once you've seen the movie. Let's get into it. Thunderbolts is essentially a film of a ragtag group of operatives and characters who have sort of had rough upbringings and pasts, and they're sort of thrown together as a sort of makeshift team to go up against someone who's doing wrong, and they decide it's time for them to make a change and become good guys. Valentina, who's the aka female Nick Fury of this phase, who's been popping up at the end of Black Widow, who's made an appearance at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and even a cameo in Wakanda Forever, is sort of a Nick Fury type character who's currently working for the CIA and also has a private organization, Ox Group, sort of off the books doing rogue experiments. In these rogue experiments, she's trying to build an all-powerful being that she can sort of manage and control to save the day and become the new face of superhero and saving and heroism, to sort of replace the Avengers and push her own narrative and power in the public eye, as she is currently being impeached for a lot of the experiments and shady stuff that she has been doing behind the scenes at Ox Group. She decides to try and get rid of all of her previous operatives by sending them on a mission to take each other out, but once they realise that they're there to kill each other, they decide to fight back and go against her, devious plan and team up and help out Bob. Who's Bob? Bob is a patient that is being experimented on, part of the Sentry Project, which is Valentina's pet project on how to create this super being all powerful by doing experiments on them. It doesn't exactly say how that she's doing this or what things she's using to make this super powerful, incredible being from just an ordinary person, which is a bit of a plot hole and sort of leaves you wondering how have they achieved this. The Thunderbolts escape the plan that Valentina put in place on them to take each other out at this very highly sort of military compound, secret, that no one knows where it is, and they escape with the help, of course, Alexei, who turns up to help Yelena as he wants to get in on the act and in on the team. While escaping, they are being pursued, and of course Bucky Buchanan Barnes, who's now a congressman and who's struggling with the red tape and the trying to do the right thing, but the legalities and the sort of politics behind it, he decides to get back into the groove of the old ways and go and seek out these so-called Thunderbolts to use them as witnesses and to testify against Valentina. While they convince Bucky, as well as an assistant for Valentina, who he's managed to turn to his side, explains what's going on with the Sentry Project, and Bob, who's being held captive by Valentina, they decide they need to put their differences aside and try and become a team and go and stop what she is doing, as it could be incredibly dangerous. Too little, too late, as Bob is now full Sentry. He's been manipulated by Valentina and believes he is the next god and being and all-powerful. He's a great makeover, a suit, and he looks amazing. Being manipulated by Valentina, she orders Sentry to go against them, and although the Thunderbolts put up a really good effort, they get their asses handed to them by Sentry, who's now just all powerful and far too strong for just some mercs. After failing and feeling more of a failure, we get a lot of the themes of this film, which is, trying to be redemption, trying to matter, going over their previous mistakes and past and how do they live with it, and about putting it aside to become the heroes they can be, to do good and to change. And in that spirit, Yelena decides to sacrifice herself to the void, to Bob's darker half. Bob is a sort of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde sort of situation, where he has a good side where he's Bob and he's a good going guy, but then he has the void, the place that he hides and sort of all the past traumas manifested in his life and the darkness, and that side is violent and can control this sort of dark void, sort of can mess with your mind and take you into this place and show you your worst, memories and fears and prey on you a bit. And Yelena and the Thunderbolts go in there and make a playful, heartfelt message to Bob to try and, get him to stand up and fight back against the void and say, we can all change together. We're all in this together. We're a team. And a lot of the tropes and the vibes of the film is redemption. And like I say, sort of living with your past, but knowing you can do better and change and start anew. And they're successful, of course, and they save the day, as is a superhero film. Very tricksy Valentina pulls a quick switcheroo at the end and makes out she's been behind this the whole time, and she's been secretly building the new Avengers, and unveils it to the press and tricks the Thunderbolts into sort of, not being able to really go against her, as now they are the new Avengers. That's right, you heard me. Ghost, Agent Walker, Yelena, the new Black Widow, Red Guardian, and Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, are now the new Avengers. Well, you tell me what you think about that in the comments below. So this film was fast-paced, especially in the first half. A lot of good action, really good choreography. I really liked the scenes. I thought the visual effects held up. I like the costumes. I like the feel and tone of the film. Comedy with a bit of silliness, but a lot of heart and serious, sort of storylines and feelings towards, how they've had to come over hardships, whether it was rough childhood upbringings or the routes they went down in life and a lot of the dark deeds that they've done, but that it can be overturned and you can be overcome and you can do better and you can become more. So I really felt it was a good film with those themes. The only thing that sort of irked me a little is a lot of the action and, superhero thrill and, spectacular, sort of fight scenes and, big sort of, battles and all that sort of stuff was really in the first half of the movie, and the second half was very much more of the tropes that they wanted you to feel and the storyline and the emotion behind it and, the messaging of, hope and can come together rather than a great big battle. It was more of a visual of projecting, hope and trying to get you to feel all the right, in the fuzzies, as it were, more than action and thrill, as it were. Definitely more of an emotional third act to try and make you think and feel over just showing an amazing fight scene. I still think they should have added a bit more in there, but hey, that's just me. It leads us to an unbelievable post-credit scene, which is something I predicted in a previous video, where we go 14 months into the future and we have sort of two Avengers now. We have the new Avengers ordained by the government, Yelena, Bucky, but there's also another Avengers that Cap is forming, and they're not seeing eye to eye. He doesn't recognise the new Avengers, the Avengers. They've reached out to him with Bucky, and it's not gone over well between the two of them, which I find hard to believe because they're friends, and I believe they would have come together. But they're struggling to not be accepted by the public, as all they're trying to do is good and be the new Avengers and do good deeds. And there's a new crisis in space, and they're not even being included, so they decide to take matters into their own hands and do some deep scans with satellites, and they find that a ship has entered the atmosphere, and it's none other than the Fantastic Four. Ooh, boom. It's getting tasty now. I like this because I believe it does. It is my theory of the way it sets up Avengers Doomsday. The Fantastic Four's Earth has fell either to Galactus or Doctor Doom at the end of the Fantastic Four, and they flee to Earth 616 to seek out the help or to warn the Avengers of what is coming with Doctor Doom. And therefore I think that will be the start of the movie, and Cap's Avengers and Bucky's Avengers will have to put their differences aside, realise that this is the greater good, and team up to make one big Avengers and go up with the Fantastic Four, and as we know, the X-Men, to go up against Doctor Doom. Overall, the film was still fun. It was light-hearted, like I said, good comedy, great visuals, good fight scenes, maybe not enough towards the end, but visually choreographed very well and looked done very well. I love the costumes, I love the fighting style, and I like the feel and tone of the film, definitely. Not too serious, a bit of fun, can be enjoyed, light-hearted, easy pacing, easy to watch, not too complicated. Yeah, so overall, a good fun Marvel film. Still could have been a bit better, but still all round solid. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments down below. Did you like Thunderbolts? Did you not? What are your thoughts of the end credit scene? What do you think it means? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Please smash the like button. It helps all new channels like us out massively, and I really do appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already, guys. More content coming your way. All things Star Wars, Marvel, DC, trailer reactions, movie reviews, previews, fan theories, all that good stuff. So don't miss out. As always, guys, I will catch you in the next video. Adios.